What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Bob Arum. Bob Arum does blast Team Garcia. With which Garcia? Danny Garcia. Okay? He says that Danny Garcia ducked Terence Crawford and avoided fighting him at 140. And what I say about that is no shit, Sherlock. I've made several videos about Garcia, Team Garcia, ducking Terence Crawford. That's a fact, people. Okay? In case you guys didn't know that, Danny Garcia and Deontay Wilder at the time, there was a time frame where these guys were considered the biggest cherry pickers of the PBC. And this is back when the PBC wasn't really what it was now. It was a fresh, new, free TV concept of fighters coming on, and promoting free television, like on Fox. And you could watch it without having cable or anything. It was a great move. A lot of people hated on it, like Oscar De La Hoya and all these people. They hated on this concept. Danny Garcia was one of those fighters. But before that time frame, he was for Golden Boy, right? He was under Oscar De La Hoya's banner. Now, mind you, he was at 140. He was at 140. He had good fights. He fought Matisse at 140. I think he fought in Puerto Rico, and I can't remember the fighter's name right now. It's fleeting me. But a lot of people thought he lost that fight. He had a tough fight with that guy. Anyway, when the same year Terence Crawford came from 135 to 140 was the same year that Danny Garcia left. He got out of that division. So I saw that right away. They didn't want any of Garcia. And when Garcia went to 147, he started fighting a lot of small touches. Now, don't get me wrong. Danny Garcia, he did have a good record, but then it got to the point where, he was winning fights that a lot of people thought that he should have lost. I will think of that guy's name. I can't remember right now. But, it's funny that Bob is saying that now. That's what questions me about Bob Arum. Why are you talking about something that already happened? Like there was lately, let's look at lately. And when I mean lately, the last 12 months, okay? There was an offer to Team Garcia. I think it was for $3 million, I believe. It was either $3 million or I think it was $3 million. And Garcia, I believe, turned it down, saying that, what's the risk in fighting that or, whatnot. And, but the offer was to fight Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia refused that amount. He said that wasn't enough money. And Bob was referring to that. Now, I explained how he avoided Terence Crawford at 140. He did that because he knew eventually he would have to fight Terence Crawford, because Terence Crawford is one of those guys, is like we seen at 140, he's going to progress. And at 140 he progressed. And the good thing about 140 is he didn't have all those politics like he is at 147. 147 just turned into a fucking Game of Thrones, old ancient Rome type politics when it came to fighting guys. These guys didn't want to get in the ring. They didn't want to fight. They blamed all the promotional companies. They didn't want any of that. Right? But Danny Garcia, yeah, he ducked that fight. But then I'm like, I would like to see Bob Arum, honestly, talk about a fighter that he doesn't manage. Because what's the angle? The angle is, he's saying that about Danny Garcia because he promotes Terence Crawford. I want to see him say something about another fighter to this magnitude to know that it's just not coming from a biased standpoint because you're talking about a particular fight that he wanted to co-promote. And it's not impossible in the PBC, but not likely. It's like it's certain fighters that have shackles, and Danny Garcia is one of them. Danny Garcia at this point is a fighter that Al Haymon needs. Like he needs Luis Ortiz until Deontay Wilder beats him again. See, after Deontay Wilder beats Ortiz, I bet you at that point, Luis Ortiz at that time could go and fight anyone. But the trade-off is on pay-per-view, and they're going to pay him a certain amount of money to take another L from another guy, a younger guy, a fresher guy, like Deontay Wilder. And I think Luis Ortiz is just needed for that fact. But back to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is actually that guy that is also needed by PBC because he's a top fighter. He's lost to Sean Porter and Keith Thurman. And those are like the two top fighters, or they were the two top fighters. We'll see after this year. But yes, Danny Garcia did duck Terence Crawford. And he didn't do it once, he did it twice. It's just the first time it was harder to pick up because he had left that division just to pursue the welterweight division. And you think Danny had problems making weight? No, he left because he knew Terence Crawford was coming there and that was going to be a fight. Now he moved up to where Danny's at. And even when they moved to 147, you had Angel Garcia saying shit like, oh, he's blue black. Oh, we ain't messing with you. Oh, you just blue black. Like, what does that have to do with fighting? You're calling this, you're slandering this guy's name or giving really racial slanders, racial slurs, regarding this man, talking about his skin color, but then yet your boy didn't want to fight him. And to this day, still don't want to fight him for $3 million. Right? So Danny Garcia's excuse is the money, but it's always going to be the excuse, the money. It's never going to be because, no, I don't want to really get my ass beat by Terrence Bud Crawford. Because I see Terrence Bud Crawford. It'll be a good fight, though, because Danny can fight. I like Danny Garcia. But no one is going to beat Bud Crawford in that division. Simple. Errol Spence won't fight Terence Crawford. He won't. He'll go and fight Canelo before that and take an L before he'll fight Terence Crawford. See, all these people and all these plans of trying to be Mayweather, that's sad. You know what I mean? But Danny Garcia, yes, this is true what Bob Arum said. I would just like Bob Arum not to be attached to that fighter so we can really see what he's saying without any true bias. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Bob Arum's statements. Did he really duck Terence Crawford? Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.